The 5th Annual Extra Life Video Game Marathon is coming up on October 20th, 2012. Now it's time for gamers to make a difference. Extra Life is just like a run or a walk or a bike event, except you never have to leave the comfort of your own living room. Just sign up online at extra-life.org to register. On October 20th at 8 a.m., you play any games you want for 24 hours. Find out more and sign up to play online at extra-life.org. Play games, heal kids. Extra Life.
This evening went from bad to worse.
Oh, God. Why?
Well, I planned to, but actually the other night I was in the pub on Tuesday night with a friend of mine. He said, they've got the new Bourne film at the local cinema. Why don't we go and see it? And I thought, well, yeah, local cinema, you know, it's independently run. It's only like £5 to go and see a film. That's pretty damn cheap, really.
Mm-hmm.
If you can call up, book the tickets. You know, like, yeah, sure, called up, book the tickets. Didn't have to pay for them, which was a good thing in the end. And I knew I should have known something was wrong when I phoned up. And I said, oh, yeah, have you got any seats for tonight? And I thought, oh, yeah. So, okay, can I book 2 seats? Yeah, sure, that's fine. Okay. Normally they're sold out of everything. Okay, fine. Yeah, what's your name? I said, oh, yeah, I gave my name. So I come back from my mum's early after cooking us something to eat. So, knock on my neighbour's door and it's just, I say, I've booked the tickets, you know, we've got to be there. 10 to 8. He's like, okay, that's fine. So, well, I'm not doing anything now. Should we drive into town, have a beer? I was like, yeah, sure. So we drive into town, have a beer. We start chatting, and we get a second beer. Chap sitting there saying, oh, what are you doing out over here? You don't normally come over to town. I was like, yeah, we're going to the cinema to see the new Bourne film. He goes, sure, I finished last night. I'm like, what? Because they normally only have films on for a week at the local cinema. Really? I was like, yeah. So I'm like, okay. So they've got free Wi-Fi at the pub. I've got to fill out the whole huge form: name, address, telephone number, mother's maiden name, all that shit to finally get onto their free Wi-Fi. You know, it's not simple free Wi-Fi. You got to work for this fucking free Wi-Fi. And I go onto the local cinema's website, and sure enough, the new Bourne film finished yesterday. And today's film is the wedding video.
Draw your sword, knock your arrows, and ready your spellbook. It's time for another episode of The Gamesmen. What role will you play?
Greetings, guys, gals, and guildies. Welcome to episode 85 of The Gamesmen. This is the show for the week of September 17th, 2012. I am Steve Conger, also known as JSS Lyfeliek, on basically every gaming service imaginable. And, yep, time for another RPG show. It's time. But this time, we're going to take RPG questions from you, the listener. And, you know, I'm not going to do this by myself, of course. Who else would be here? Dan, Natman, Hardlydan.
Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm alright. How's Dan?
Yeah, a little bit annoyed this week.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Even fresh from the pub and full of piss and vinegar, and you're still annoyed.
Yeah, I'm full of piss and vim tonight.
So what's going on in the world of Hardlydan?
Oh, everything's been going wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have issues with my graphics card for Guild Wars 2. I thought I'd update them. Turned out there was a conflict with the drivers. Rolled them back. All my sound went. Rolled back Windows. Didn't really work. Somehow after about 6 hours of fiddling. And it's looking worse than it did before. So
how's that possible?
I have no idea. The load screens, I'm using newer drivers, but the load screens take longer. It doesn't look as good. The old settings I had kick it down to about 7 frames per second. Look worse.
What?
Yeah. I have to play it on cheap ass settings.
So, what video card do you have again?
Yeah, it's a crappy old NVIDIA GT 240 or 240 GT.
That's still not terrible.
Yeah, it's a 1 gig card. When I bought it, it was about £150 plus VAT. So, it wasn't a cheap card. I've had it for a few years now, admittedly. But I think it's actually my CPU that's letting it down more than anything.
Could very well be. What are you running?
Oh, it's an old dual core.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, AMD 5000X or something. I can't remember it. But yeah, it's the whole thing needs kind of upgrading. The case is falling apart. Crying out loud. I mean, it's not looking. It's
pretty
not
much.
looking.
You got a motherboard hanging on 2 screws screwed into the wall, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't have that wood screw holding my heatsink in place anymore.
Well, that's probably good. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's essentially the same stuff.
Oh God, I haven't even had time to get on there. I've been so busy, man.
I know you've not been a good guild leader.
Okay, well let me just throw this at you real quick. Speaking of playing roles, my whole off day was playing roles the other day, right? So I get up in the morning early. I play the role of the good son, go to breakfast with dad, right? Come home, play the role of husband, supposedly good husband, depending on what time of the day it is, I guess, and go to a doctor's appointment with my wife. So then we come home, I play the role of financier and go to the credit union and pick up money because we were going to pick her car up. We had some stuff done to it. And then I come home, I am maintenance man for a little bit, cutting the grass. Then I'm electrician. My neighbor comes outside. He's like, man, what do you know about surround sound systems? And so I went over and hooked up his surround system.
Surround sound and electrician, they're not the same thing, man.
Well, it's close enough when you're running wires and you know what I mean?
It's low voltage, man. You're not going to kill anyone from a crossfire.
Just for the sake of argument, Dan. Come on, quit being so literal. So
I put the Dan in pedantic.
I know. And God, Dan, leave me alone. So then I come back over, finish cutting the grass. I go inside. I play the role of sort of chappy cab driver, run my wife out to pick her car up, and come back home. Then I play the role of good neighbor. My neighbor's house is like falling down, man, and the mailman won't even give him mail, and because like his gutters are falling down and all kind of stuff, and he's fallen on some hard times. So I went over and helped him tear all that stuff down until dark. Then I came home and sort of did the old personal trainer thing, and my wife and I went for a walk. And then I come home and played the role of maid and cleaned the bathroom. So finally at 11:30 at night, I got to enjoy my day for about 15 minutes, and then I went to bed.
Well, that's about the time I boot up Guild Wars 2 and play it for 5 hours.
Yeah, right. I was so exhausted by that point, it wasn't even funny. It was actually a relief to get back to work the next day.
You know it's going bad when going to work feels like a break.
Oh, it was so relaxing, dude. I can't even tell you. It's awful.
Yeah, have some mail.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, hi. All right. Well, speaking of playing roles, for those of you that don't know, RPG is a little game that we play in which there have been 3 questions crafted, and tonight they are crafted by you, the listener. 2 random encounters and a boss battle. Then a role is assigned, and the person must play out that role to level up and, in turn, defeat the boss. So, the Gamesmen are here to play roles, and that's what we do. With that, Dan, you have random encounter number 1 for me.
Yeah, random encounter number 1 comes from our good old buddy, Amorous89, otherwise known as Gary Lever. And he says, "What's up, gentlemen? I think I have something for you to use in RPG question, or maybe just something to answer. Your scenario is with Guild Wars 2, being released as a non-subscription, free-to-play MMO, and World of Warcraft only being free-to-play up to level 20. Then, a monthly charge of $15 a month once you reach that cap. You are a level 85 Blizzard co-founder, Mike Morhaime. How will you combat this dragon and come out on top?"
Alright, level 85 Blizzard co-founder Mike Morhaime. I don't know, I guess that's pretty good.
Well, you've obviously got the DLC.
Yeah, obviously.
So, yeah, Panda.
I'm expansion heavy. Alright, let's see. Mike Morhaime. So, I guess if I'm Blizzard co-founder, I'm gonna, until I'm blue in the face, I'll be shouting from the rooftops, Activision Blizzard offers the and I stress the word, the premier MMO experience on the market right now. If you really want to experience what it means to play an MMO, plus sort of get in on a cultural phenomenon of sorts, then World of Warcraft is where you want to be. Guild Wars 2 it's $60 up front. What if you don't like Guild Wars 2 all that much? Then you're out $60. That's not the case with World of Warcraft. Come on in, have a good time, sip a few cold mugs of ale, and just experience World of Warcraft up to level 20 for free. Dan, just enjoy it up to level 20. Okay? But that's not the best part. The best part is that, we've also taken the Burning Crusade expansion content and we added it to every World of Warcraft account, not just current, but also future. So, when you come in, not only do you play to level 20 for free, but once you're in, you have Burning Crusade for nothing. So, all that leaves is Lich King, Cataclysm, and then you're pretty much current right now. And not only that, September 25th, not even 2 weeks away, we're bringing all of you World of Warcraft players, we're bringing you the Monk class, we're bringing you Pet Battles, and the Pandaren race, and plus, all the while, raising the level cap from 85 to 90. You just can't get that with Guild Wars. You're topping out at level 80. We are 10 levels higher than Guild Wars 2 right now.
After how many years?
That's not the point, Dan. That is not the point. That is not the point.
Let's say I enjoy World of Warcraft. I level up to level 20 in a week, which is easily done. And then pay $15 a month for a year. That's a hell of a lot more than Guild Wars 2.
Well, that's technically that's correct. But if you get to level 20 that fast, then all you really need to do is probably play for 3 months if you're going to play that much, and you can reach the cap. And then you're still looking at $45 as opposed to $60.
I'm not convinced. But then I played your game and I didn't like it. So I guess that's my choice.
It is.
Okay, Steve, would you like some bonus XP?
Always.
Okay. Here's the next part of Gary's question. Okay, being that Guild Wars 2 is free to play, with the Black Line trading companies, it's still for microtransactions. Will this be enough to keep the game going for years to come, or will it not hold on? You are now ArenaNet co-founder and president Mike O'Brien. How did you decide on the free-to-play direction?
All right, Mike O'Brien. ArenaNet. All right.
I guess technically it's not free-to-play. It's buy the game to play.
Yeah, it is. It's purchase up front.
Yeah.
No monthly sub.
Free-to-play would be something more like Lord of the Rings Online.
Exactly. So, ever since we announced Guild Wars 2 in 2005, 2004, I can't remember when it was anyway, but, whatever. Our main anthem, the banner that we were flying, was no monthly subscription. That has been our intention from the outset, and that has played into the design philosophy of the game from the beginning. But when you look at that, and you look at what we've brought in Guild Wars 2, and you compare it to the original Guild Wars, the original Guild Wars contained a huge hole. It had a huge hole right in the middle. And that was an in-game sort of networking infrastructure for item auctioning, right? We never really had that intention in the original game because it was not intended to be an MMO. So, as a result, several websites started popping up that sort of mimicked the eBay, the sort of eBay experience. And gold farmers ran rampant. So we figured, we have to have something here to sort of combat that, and that was the Black Lion Trading Company. With the Black Lion Trading Company, we've sort of remedied all those situations that I just mentioned. But our first concern was account safety. Account safety because the original game, Dan, all you got to do is ask your co-host Steve Conger. He had his account hacked, and lost one of his characters with over 1,600 hours of playtime.
Yeah, right?
He
told me about that, and he can't get any of the bonuses and things he had to transfer to Guild Wars 2. Are you guys going to be rectifying that at all?
Yeah, that kind of isn't our focus at this point. It kind of wasn't our focus at that point either. But anyway, our second concern was to make Guild Wars 2 financially viable, right? And the only way to make it financially viable is by making sure that the first concern happens, which is the account safety. And the third, it was, we wanted to sort of stick to our original rules and make the game accessible to all players, hence, the auto-leveling and level correction, things like that, But by trading gems for, you can buy gems online for real money, and then go into the Black Lion Trading Company and trade them for, like, experience boosters, or you can convert it to gold to buy materials for crafting, or, like even fashion novelty items, like, a certain player that wears top hats in all of his games and uses top hats for an avatar, So...
You'd have to be a total biscuit to do that.
Or a troll.
Yeah.
Felled. Oh, well, never mind. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. That's how we decided to do it, and I think that by not having to go outside of the game this time is going to make the game more secure, because once there's all this information out there, it makes it that much easier for people that have nefarious intentions.
Okay, well, one extra question. This is coming from me because I just thought of it. I've been playing a lot of your game recently.
I know, we've seen. We've logged your hours. You're up to about 150.
About that, yeah.
Yeah.
A bit more, maybe. I've seen a lot of comments in the chat with people advertising websites for buying in-game gold. Cheaper, it must be stated, than you're actually selling it for on your site. Now, are you relying on users to report these people, or are you just going to let it roll and let people kind of debase the marketplace?
No, well, I mean, everything, at a base level, when you look at the word community is not just driven from the top, it's driven from the whole body, right? So we are depending on players to report, these gold spammers and things like that. So, I mean, look, we just recently had to sort of cut the tap on digital keys to control server populations.
And physical disk as well.
And physical disk, yes, you're right. We're doing what we can. The game is incredibly popular right now. And I'm just going to throw this out there. We don't have the manpower to monitor every single thing like this. So we depend on people like Daniel Knappman to report these players to us.
Well, Mike, I have to say, before you go, I've really enjoyed your game. It's been more than worth the dollar per hour ratio that I normally go for. In fact, the amount I've played it in the past 2 weeks, I could have bought the collector's edition and still be in profit. I had great fun playing it, and yeah, I definitely won't be touching World of Warcraft.
Well, Dan, just remember you can always buy some gems and upgrade to the digital collector's edition. So,
well, I'm working on that. I have nearly 100 gems already. And Steve, to me, that sounds like a level up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, anyway, Amorous finishes off by saying, personally, over here, me and the wife are enjoying every inch travelled interior and just can't get enough of it. Happy to see the show back on a weekly basis, and I'm really enjoying listening again. Keep up the awesome quality, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Smiley face. I guess you'll see me.
You'll see me too.
I'm just going to keep digging that in.
I'm just having any time. All right. Yeah, thank you for the email, Gary. And it looks like it's time for random encounter number 2 is from Dan's drinking buddy, Chris Hodgson. So his email begins, finally listening to the podcast after Dan's suggestion. I'd have listened earlier, but I'm a bit of a crap gamer. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's places in VGHub for that.
Chris, first of all, Chris, you really shouldn't be playing with crap, you can go blind.
It's messy and it transmits disease. All right, Dan. For the duration of this email, you will assume the role of industry analyst. So Chris says, anyway, my rant at Dan last Tuesday night was about the new Dredd film and how Rebellion Games are handling the characters they own. Rebellion, according to their wiki page, is now the largest independent European development studio, recently hoovering up the Tomb Raider developers' core design, the original ones, among lots of smart acquisitions over the last few years. And perhaps their smartest acquisition is 2000 AD, the seminal British comic from which the character Judge Dredd is taken. So Dan, industry analyst Dan, first question, how often do games companies buy comic publishers?
Well, there's a simple answer to this, and that's not often enough.
Well, yeah, there's that.
If you want actual figures, I haven't a freaking clue. But you got to get the right balance. Now and then you get a fantastic case where a games company buys up a publisher and they have this almost symbiotic relationship, and you get results kind of like EA with Dead Space, and you know, everything just seems to increase the narrative and the universe of the comic in the game. But then you look at this case and you see 2010's Aliens vs. Predator, and you think, really? Perhaps, I don't know, you could have done better. Maybe, I don't know, tested the game, asked some fans of the comic and you know, video games in general, and perhaps you might have had a good thing there. But, you know, I'd like to see, you know, less the video games companies buying the rights to the comic book, or comic book companies, where obviously that can work. Perhaps, you know, get a big enough comic company buying a video game company. Yeah, that I think might be the way forward.
Well, see, and I think you're hitting on something there, and that's what this smacks up to me. Like you said about the Dead Space, you know, the whole IP in general, and this tells me that, you know, if you're looking at Rebellion Games and you're looking at comics acquisitions and things like that, that tells me that you are looking to expand your properties to more than just digital entertainment.
Yeah, well, there's a whole huge thing, you know, we've seen a lot of, quite frankly, shoddy movie titles.
Yeah.
That suddenly kind of opens that up a bit more once you've got the whole IP rights.
Well, and like you said, I mean, you look at Dead Space, you look at Dead Space Downfall, you look at Dead Space, you know, the Dead Space comics, things like that. You know, to me, I think one of the biggest parallels you could probably draw here, and obviously I don't think that Rebellion Games is on this scale yet, but you look at, you know, sort of like the way the Walking Dead phenomenon is going on now, and it's, you know, it's comics. The comic just hit episode 100, you know, a month or two ago, and you're looking at the Telltale game, you're looking at an upcoming first-person shooter, you're looking at the TV show, there have been novelizations, you know, like The Rise of the Governor and things like that, and
there's bound to be a third-person shooter.
You know it's coming, cover-based.
Yeah. Waist-high walls with
cover-based.
goddamn sticky walls.
I want a game where I can play as the zombies and kill Carl. That's what I want. Son of a bitch.
I want a game where I can play as a zombie and kill Reggie.
I like French food.
Overdose him with French food.
Alright, let's gotta move on here. Buying 2000 AD gave Rebellion access to a whole library of great characters created by writing talent, which went on to revolutionize the US comic scene. They have tried cashing in on games with some of the more famous characters, but before now, they've not really been able to fully exploit them. This is definitely about to change. The Dredd film is out to very positive reviews and crazy business, despite only costing a minuscule $40 million to make. Film gossip is already talking about a 3-film trilogy. 2000 AD does not have a universe in the same way as Marvel or DC, but the characters are interconnected, and potentially a successful Dredd film opens up a whole series of future adaptations, which Rebellion have the rights to, including Rogue Trooper, ABC Warriors, Strontium Dog, Harlem Heroes, Nemesis, the Warlock, etc. On top of that, Rebellion have just begun making 2000 AD issues available on the iPad. At approximately $2 a go, when Rebellion put 35 years of back issues online, they could be sitting on a virtual gold mine. So, Dan, bonus XP? What are the chances that this little games company are going to turn into the British or even European equivalent of Marvel or DC?
Unfortunately, I think the chances are actually quite small. I'd like to see this company, especially with the British roots, becoming much bigger, but Marvel and DC have such a stranglehold on the market, especially with games. It's I don't know, the possibilities there, and given the writers and the great writers that are there with 2000 AD, it could be fantastic. But I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think the future's rosy.
No, I think you're close to being right on. I think that this is going to end up being pot shots on the bow of a bigger ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by bigger ship, I don't know if I necessarily mean Marvel or DC either, because if I'm an analyst, I'm going to say, you know what? Marvel couldn't even be Marvel without Disney swooping in to save them, and DC couldn't even be DC without going to the New 52 and trying to revitalize their whole comics line by completely rewriting sort of, history to a point.
Well, yeah, and Marvel couldn't be Marvel without their competition of DC and vice versa.
I think the main downfall of a lot of these comics are they got a lot of great IPs and characters, but the problem is a lot of the characters are tied up into one sort of issue series. Yeah,
Yeah.
And to spread all that out anyway would spell certain doom, but still you have power-packed properties in one trade book.
The 2000 AD issues on the iPad $2 ago, that's pretty damn tempting.
Yeah.
I just don't have an iPad. So.
Well.
Bring it on Android.
That's it. Bring them to Android. And with that sounds to me, Dan, like a level up. All right, Dan. Well, that's 2 random encounters, and courtesy of Mr. Greg DeLacy, Murphy's Law, it's time for the Boss Battle.
Hey guys, gals, and guildies. Yeah, okay, I can't do it, but it's Greg DeLacy. Just giving you a quick call. I heard the news about the Wii U, and of course, Mr. Conger, I immediately thought of you, and it got me to thinking a lot about kind of their strategy and kind of the strategy for Microsoft and Sony. And so it led me to ask this question to you guys. Maybe you can make it an RPG question for the group there. If you're Microsoft or Sony, what do you guys do? What is your play now that we know the Wii U launch date and price? How do you combat it? What do you do to ensure that the Wii U just does not take off like a rocket again? Anyway, look forward to hearing the question on air, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, Steve. Well, with that voicemail of mine, obviously, you are Sony. How the hell do you combat the Wii U launch strategy?
Alright, so I am Sony. First off, obviously, Sony has brighter days to look forward to. But before that, all we really have to say is, look at this fall here. This fall, you're getting The Last of Us. The Last of Us is our flagship reason to own a PlayStation 3 this fall. Okay?
Is that the last of...
It's getting there. It's getting there.
PS3, obviously.
Yeah. And also, it's not out there yet, but another couple of weeks. And, the 12 gigabyte PlayStation 3 will be rearing its ugly head. If you remember, Dan, the one that you were all excited to pick up, we're finally going to bring that out, and we're going to give you a cheap, low entry point to some great PlayStation gaming and a great back catalog filled with, brand new IP and also high resolution upgraded, PlayStation 2 games and things like that. Plus you get access to PS1 games, and through PlayStation Plus, we're going to give you games for free. I don't think Nintendo's going to do that. Plus you have Gaikai to look forward to in the future, and, new hardware coming soon. But for right now, there is one heck of an experience to be had on Sony's PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy that cheap.
You might.
Easy
Especially
game,
if it has an open hard drive bay.
Can I play Guild Wars 2 on it?
No. Only if you install Linux. Oh,
you can't do that.
All right, Dan. You're Microsoft. How do you combat the Wii U's launch strategy?
We've already started. We've got Windows 8 coming out soon. That's going to have Xbox games on your PC. We've got a new console coming out. We can't talk too much about that now, but it's going to be good. Yes, it is going to be a bit more expensive, but it's going to give you graphical fidelity that you will not be able to get on the Wii. Yeah, we've got Microsoft Smart Glass coming out. You're going to be able to use that on pretty much anything. Almost any current device. iPads, Android phones, Android tablets. You're going to be able to use that in conjunction with your console. It's not mandatory, but if you want to use it, it's there. It'll enhance a lot of your games. You'll be able to use your tablet, much like you can use that fancy new Wii U controller. And may I mention that someone from Nintendo recently stated that they thought that the Xbox controller was the best controller ever designed. We have that controller. It's our controller. Yeah, you're bound. You're going to be able to use your old controllers. Yeah, you're going to be able to use some of your old games, I expect. I'm not entirely sure. We haven't figured that out yet. But, it's going to be a great console. And if you're not a console guy, but you've got friends that have got console games that they want to play it, you'll be able to put them into your Windows 8 PC and you'll be able to run. We're not just talking about consoles. There's a huge resurgence of PC gaming. It's on the cusp of a new renaissance. And we're pushing that as well. We've got this two-pronged attack towards both Sony and Nintendo, with PCs and the console. We're really all about gaming now.
Yeah, and I don't know if I believe that they're all about gaming now, because...
All right, fair enough. I was just being Microsoft.
Yeah, but, I don't know. I sit there and I think, are these two companies going to totally push the hardware that they have out right now? Or are they going to say, you know what, why would you buy a Wii U when you're going to have a console with double the RAM and double the graphical fidelity here in, a year?
Yeah, I know. There are companies already talking about putting out 4K TVs, basically twice the resolution of 1080p.
And Sony's going to do that. That's going to be their bread and butter is, hey, we got a 4K console. Why don't you get a 4K TV to go with it?
Exactly, and Microsoft would be stupid not to do that, and it's going to be another case of, well, you can get a Nintendo, but the graphics don't look as good.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's kind of a load to a point, but only because that this machine is going to be able to do and pull off some of the next gen tricks.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really like that idea for the controller with the screen. It's genius, and it's making, it's like simple steps that work really well. But those launch titles, I can already play most of them.
I'm kind of thinking I like the launch titles. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me. I don't know.
It's great to see that Nintendo finally discovered the internet with Wii TV.
Well, okay, so let's just let's wrap the boss battle up with a little recap of the Wii U live preview event, right? So Reggie comes out on stage and he announces that Wii U will be available in the United States November 18th, Europe November 30th, and Japan December 8th. Okay? Now, Dan, I don't know about you, but this tells me two things, right? First off, at $299 and $349, which is going to be the pricing. Basic console, 8 gig, and that comes with the console gamepad, 2 AC adapters, an HDMI cable, and a Wii U sensor bar. Okay? $299.99 here in the States. And then the Deluxe comes with all of that stuff, but it has 32 gig solid state memory sort of on it, and a gamepad charge cradle, plus stands for both, a Nintendo Land packed in, and a premium subscription to the downloadable reward service, whatever that's going to be, but I assume that it's going to be tied in to Club Nintendo. It only makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much Club Nintendo Wii U, isn't it? Yeah,
and $349.99 that price is. So at those two prices, Wii U is anything but a stopgap system. It's a 5-year system.
Yeah, that seems about right. Then there'll be the Wii U Mini.
Yeah, the Wii U,
and the discs will be
Micro.
smaller, so they won't actually be able to play your old.
So the other thing that tells me is I'm fairly sure that Nintendo waited till the last minute to get the best pricing on the components before they sent it into production, and that's why the releases around the world are staggered by region.
Yeah. One of the things that gets me with the UK, well, the European show, was the vague pricing structure.
They didn't say much, or
They said basically the trade cost of the Wii U are just over £200 for the basic unit, $245 for the premium. And actually, they didn't announce the Zombie U set.
oh, a Zombie U. Now, see, we didn't have that in ours.
Now, they're saying the trade price for that is £270. Interestingly, that doesn't come with Nintendo Land.
No, Reggie did say no, Tendo Land. Yeah, he did.
And so today we've been seeing a range of prices that are hovering between £250 and £260 basic, £280 and £310 premium Black Edition. And the Zombie U's coming in at around £230 to £250. Amazon's slightly cheaper, and there might well be some trade wars with the supermarkets. But I'd like to see an actual static price point rather than trade cost prices.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of odd. I mean, over here it's going to be one price and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Right?
And obviously there's a whole load of different regions in Europe.
And I mean, plus, just between you guys, between the Tesco's and the game and stores like that, I mean, they're all trying to undercut each other over there. It's a crazy game market in the UK.
Well, and Europe, because obviously, different countries have traditionally had different systems for, PAL over here, and different types of PAL. And
well, this is true. Yeah.
Whatever the French thing is. So, obviously, they've got that there's different licensing laws for each different country. So, it's a huge headache. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the reason that there's the delay in the UK, the European release is just sorting out some of the legal quagmires for the licensing laws.
Yeah, it could very well be.
Yeah.
Oh, so after Reggie says Nintendo Land, he said something that bothered me. And this was something that kind of bothered me. I mean, not so much because I wasn't an original Xbox owner, but this was kind of the same thing with the 360. The Wii U will work with almost all Wii games.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
Yes, I'm not too happy about that.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me because I don't have any Wii U game. No Wii game. But all the different controllers. Some games are going to work better with this, that, and the other. It seems like they're making a rod for their own back.
Well, and plus, I mean, every Wii U game that utilizes the nunchuck and the Wii Remote needs a Wii Remote Plus.
Yeah.
So your old Wii Remotes will work, but only with Wii games that support it. So, which, that's not a terrible thing. It's just that I think there's going to be a run on eBay Wii Motion Plus attachments, I think. Because I'm thinking about it myself, I'll tell you right now. But after that, they revealed 3 new mini-games in the Nintendo Land actual game proper. Metroid Blast, which looked, kind of cool. Looked like a 2-player horde mode. One in Samus's ship.
Good for shooting your friends.
Yeah. And one me on the ground in a Varia suit. Yeah. Pretty cool, man. Balloon Trip Breeze, and apparently Pikmin Adventure. Now, we didn't see too much. We didn't see anything of those.
I did like that little Mario feature where you can, some of the games have your me playing instead of Mario. Yeah,
that's kind of cool. In New Super Mario Bros. U, it looks cool, and like you said, the ability to use your me in some situations. Also new power-up variations, like they showed Mini Mario running up and down vertical surfaces. Yeah. Which is kind of cool.
I just really like the idea of my me, because believe it or not, I did create one. DJ Leroy had a Wii at some point, and I made my me, I called him Mr. H, and he looked like Hitler. And I'd like to see Hitler running around collecting coins.
Well, that's probably going to happen.
Actually, the funny thing was I played it once, and then he went back to Plymouth, and whenever his friends came round and played on his Wii, they were like, I want to be Mr. H, I want to be Mr. H.
Mr. H. I think I have your me, Mr. H. Anyway, the last thing they showed was an interconnected world. So it's not just different worlds now. Everything is all in one world map, which is kind of cool. But given the sort of mild disappointment that I had with New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS, I don't know about this game. The only way they'll sell it to me is if, my wife and I will play it. That'll probably be about it. But
or if they put another new on there.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God.
You'll be buying it, it's Nintendo.
I probably will. Anyway, Lego City Undercover looked kind of awesome.
Oh, Lego GTA. Undercover.
Yeah. Looked kind of awesome.
I've got a problem now with the whole vocalization of Lego characters.
Why?
I kind of preferred them when you just had those facial expressions and the shrugging. You could read your own story into it, what they would say. Yeah, everything was described by their facial actions, their shrugging and everything. Yeah, I thought that was kind of fun.
I think your tune is going to change after Lego Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't wait. Okay, anyway. So next was the big Nintendo TV, spelled TVII.
TV!
Yeah. So let me just run this down real quick. TiVo integration, supposed cable or satellite integration somehow. I don't know how the hell they're going to do it. Also social media, on the fly. It looks like on sort of a guide button. It is personalized to each me and each person in your house. Your watching habits, for that matter. Radial soft remote, which looked crazy.
That just reminded me of an old Baker-like dial telephone.
Yeah. Holy crap, did that thing look insane.
It looked far too complicated.
I know. But, Nintendo TV's included on every console, even the basic, and there's no fee, but the catch there is there's a fee for Netflix, there's a fee for Hulu, there's a fee for Amazon, there's a fee for TiVo, for your cable company. So, but the cool thing is, I can't believe that Nintendo beat Microsoft to the punch here. Of wrapping everything up under one thing, personalized to one account, or one personalized to one. But
that's the thing, though. On your 360 at the moment, when I had Netflix Love Film, it was tied into my Netflix and Love Film accounts. And they synchronized, so it would automatically suggest stuff I wanted anyway.
Yeah, and that's great if you pay another $60 a year for gold.
Well, yeah, that was that. The cool thing, I think, is I could be wrong because I haven't turned on my Xbox for ages, but I'm pretty sure in the UK you don't need to have a gold account, so you use the BBC iPlayer. Everything else, you've got to have a gold account, and I can get all that for free on my PC. Well, not for free, but without having to pay extra.
Oh no, it's free. It's called yourtvseries.eu. That's what it's called. But anyway, so next, the virtual shitstorm that was exclusivity for Bayonetta 2 from Platinum Games? What?
I'm quite happy with that being exclusive to Wii U. Now, is that going to be a timed preview or a complete?
No, Nintendo is publishing in conjunction with Sega.
I'm quite happy with that because I had no problem completely ignoring Bayonetta because she reminded me too much of my ex in looks and mentality.
Well, but here's the thing. Everybody was up in arms. Didn't everybody hate that game?
Some people really liked it. I have no idea why. I played the demo and I was like, nah.
I don't know. There was this big Twitter storm, and now there's Bayonetta 2 boycott.wordpress.com and all this other crazy shit. Platinum Games, I'll kill you, and all this kind of crazy shit. But I kind of think that's smart. And here's a role for you. Let's say you're a supposed quote-unquote gamer who's way butthurt on an exclusive that Nintendo bought after you've completely filleted Microsoft for 5+ years for throwing money around to get exclusives on the Xbox.
Yeah.
There's a role to play. How about that?
Yeah, that is a role to play because you've got to admit some of those Xbox exclusives have actually been quite good.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what you can argue that Nintendo probably has more exclusives than anybody.
Yeah, Microsoft, I guess the only true, real exclusive is pretty much the Halo series.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much everything else you've been able to pick up. Oh, and Gears, but I don't count that.
So, after that, just a quick rundown. Project P100 was renamed to the Wonderful 101, which I hate that name. I think that's awful. And you know what? Damn it, Nintendo and Capcom. they're going to sell me 2 more copies of Monster Hunter Tri.
Oh, yeah. They're all about making you buy stuff you've already bought.
Oh, God. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the Wii U in March. And there's going to be Wii U 3DS crossplay. You can move your save over to the 3DS if you have the 3DS version. Oh, that to me just negated whatever the Vita and PS3 crossplay stuff does right there. If they're going to do this stuff all the time, and I don't know that they are, but if they are, okay. All I wanted was a Monster Hunter, and Sony completely lost out on it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Monster Hunter's, I don't know, it almost seems right that it's in Nintendo's hands now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of weird for the Wii, and the graphical fidelity just wasn't there, but this is supposed to be sort of upscaled and you know, better textures, sharper wire mesh and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think we're going to see what happens. I don't know, but that's not until March. So then the Activision douche comes out and talks a little bit about Skylanders Giants, Wipeout 3, Transformers Prime, 007 Legends, and aside from Skylanders Giants, all those games look like crap, I think. I mean, I think 007 looked okay, but it wasn't as big as the bombshell, supposedly, that was Call of Duty Black Ops 2 for Wii U. With a really cool multiplayer mode.
Yeah. Kind of enticing.
Yeah, it was pretty nifty. But, you know, Nintendo, the supposed company that's only concerned about first-party games, 50-plus games from launch window, from launch day until March 2013, only 5, I think, are first-party. So, I mean, and yeah, a lot of these games you've played before. Okay, I get that. But I'll say 3 words. Perfect Dark Zero. That's it. You know, those are the only 3 words that you have to say. The games on this system will look better. You know, they will look better.
Worse.
I know. They will get better.
You just reminded me of a little thread that you started on the Gamesmen Facebook page about the Wii U and price point. The reply that we had from DJ Leroy.
Yeah.
He was being a bit of a troll. I can't find it now. It was something about you and Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah, he said Nintendo sucks, and then he completely recanted his statement about
I only saw that one.
Yeah.
He was talking to me the other night, and he said, no one but Steve likes Nintendo. I was like, dude, you've got a DS, and you really enjoy it. I was like,
I know. He knows. So they finish up with a montage. Always got to finish up with a montage, you know. And I don't know. I mean, just to kind of wrap up, I was at GameStop the other day, you know, the day of, and on the wall after they had, you know, the game boxes set up and things, Nintendo's sort of going for a tiered software pricing thing: $39.99, $49.99, and $59.99. So it looks like they're going at this the right way from the beginning.
Yeah, I just hope that the lower tiered games don't absolutely suck.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they are, they're $39.99 for a reason, you know?
Well, yeah, but you know, it'd be nice to pick up some gems in that price point.
No, I agree with you, and maybe that's going to signify million seller categories or something like that.
It did seem like they were trying to approach the core gamer market a lot with this.
It is definitely aimed at the core. And first console across all SKUs to include an HDMI cable.
Yeah, you won't need that little dongle hanging out the back like your HDMI cable.
Yeah, exactly. I know, my little Wii to HDMI. And when was the last time? And the answer is never. Has Nintendo ever launched a console in North America first?
Yeah. I wasn't expecting. Obviously, I was expecting Europe to come out after America, but I was expecting Japan first.
Yeah, exactly. And here they're last.
Yeah, what's going on there? Either they're just relying on ironing out all the bugs by the time it comes out in Japan in those 20 days, whatever it is.
I think that speaks volumes about them knowing that Microsoft is their competition over here with this this console.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and we can but surmise neither of us happen to be industry science. Just being a shame. Should we get this killing blow done?
Yes, exactly. So after that recap, and this has been sort of an unorthodox boss battle, but the killing blow, Dan, at $299 and $349, does the Wii U succeed, or will a price cut be imminent?
That's a tough one. all the people I know with I've got some friends that write for magazines and things. None of them are that hyped about it. I think it's going to succeed to a degree, and there will be a price cut, but we won't see it for a while. They'd be stupid to cut it within the first year.
Yeah. I think that shows a lack of confidence.
Yeah, so, I think it will succeed to a degree. I know of at least 2 people that have got pre-orders.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like much, but that's more than people I know that have got pre-orders for the next Xbox or PlayStation at the moment. So, that's infinite percent more. Of course it's going to succeed. There's a whole host of Nintendo fanboys out there that are going to pick it up regardless of the price point. Actually, I don't think the price point's that high for what you get. I think that, it's pretty keenly priced, and, the lineup's not bad. The features, they're kind of what you expect. Unless something drastic happens in the next few months, there's no way it can't succeed.
Well, I kind of agree with you. I think the prime question to ask when you're saying will it succeed is how hungry are gamers for new hardware first?
Yeah.
Right?
And in comparison to what?
Yeah.
Is the second one.
But here's the thing. If they're hungry for Ouya, which graphical fidelity on there is meh.
Well, yeah. I mean, just look at on live for a kind of example of what it's probably going to be looking like.
and also, when I was at GameStop the other day, 2 people called and asked about trading in their Xbox 360s while I was there. And because I usually take a 10-minute break in there, at work, in the mall when I'm delivering there. And then I talked to a guy today who said, they'll give me $110 for my 360. And he said, I'm trading that sucker in. So that's 3 people in not even 24 hours.
Well, actually, looking at my back catalogue of 360 games and my working 360, I could probably just trade it all in and get one outright.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
I've got about 4 foot of game boxes, all with their discs in, and manuals. No receipts. But,
yeah. So, I mean, if that's true, I think it does succeed.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked to see a little lower price point, but by $50 on each. But for $349, you're getting a lot in that box, I think.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Sony and Microsoft actually tally it. I can't see them putting out stupidly expensive consoles because I don't think the market can actually take it at the moment.
Yeah, and that sounds to me like a Steve putting $100 down on a deluxe Wii U set, boss killing blow, the boss is down.
I guess you kind of almost wish you'd lived in Europe so you could get that Zombie U edition.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, actually. I mean, I'll take Nintendo Land. It is what it is, but it's...
Apparently the Zombie U version doesn't come with Nintendo Land.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
It's a bit of a... Well, I don't know. Some people will like it.
Well, thank you, Greg, and thank you, Chris, and thank you, Gary, for your emails. You made RPG a blast this week. So, Dan, shout-outs.
Right, 2 this week. One from Michael Carrieri. Shoot, that's how you pronounce it. If I'm wrong, terribly sorry. From Zap.Inc. The guys behind Alchemy Labs and Snuggle Truck sent an email. They've actually sent me a load of Steam codes for Snuggle Truck and however you pronounce that
for your big
game.
marathon.
Yeah, for my marathon, and they're sending me a load of PAX exclusive keychains.
Oh, cool!
I'll be sending out to
excellent.
Anyone that sponsors me gets. I've got this prize fund that I'm building up. It's nothing great, but it's a load of stuff. I think I'm going to end up having to split it into several sections, so pretty much almost at the moment everyone will get a game, a keychain, some stickers, and there's a big prize of 2 t-shirt coats and a t-shirt. And the other one to GamerGirl27. Thank you very much for sponsoring.
Awesome. Yeah, same for me. Kim, GamerGirl27, she made a donation and got in on my donation fund. Kryptonians for joining the VGHub Extra Life team. Yay, well done,
good
sir.
On you, Ryan.
Yeah, agreed. TriStar Nissan, the place where we bought our new car,
You get free air freshener for that, shout
No, dude. No. Okay. I paid for the undercoat package and the Teflon protectant on the paint and the Scotch guarding,
Could just clean it.
No, listen. And I ordered fog lights and they never charged me for the fog lights.
That's pretty cool.
$284.
No, damn cool. No, that's pretty much a Wii U there.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm getting a free U. And always, VGHub.net. There is a great wealth of gaming content, something for everyone at VGHub.net. So, Dan, what for the week to come?
Well,
Hardlydan 4219. I know already. Okay.
Yeah. Hardlydan 4219 on Guild Wars 2. If I'm not there, the chances are I'm actually on a Twitch TV channel, because I found this channel, Yawn__ gaming. And this guy, he's got, I don't know what rig, well, actually, I do know what rig he's got because he lists it in the channel, but the quality that he's streaming his Guild Wars 2 stream, while streaming it with another little box with you so you can see him playing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic quality. I've picked up some good tips there. Every now and then he's giving away some stuff. It's a good site to check out.
Sweet.
So if I'm not playing Guild Wars 2 or asleep, I'll make your score game.
Twitch TV.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't bother looking for me on 360 because that's gathering dust. I do every now and then respond to the odd tweet. That's at Hardlydan on Twitter, and that's pretty much it. What about you, Steve?
JSSLIFELIKE pretty much everywhere. I don't even need to rename all that stuff because if I'm there, I'm there. If I'm not, I'm not. Basically. So, all right, Dan, take it home.
It would be great if you guys could swing over to Facebook, as much as you might well dislike it, but have a look at our page, give it a like. It's got links to pretty much everything that's on the site. Handy way to getting to stuff. If perhaps you've got some kind of embargo at work. Mind you, if you do have an embargo at work, you probably can't get to Facebook, but fear not, because you can get us on Stitcher. They probably haven't thought of that. So you can listen to all our shows on there. As ever, this time of year, we're always pleading for you to sponsor us. We are doing our best to help incredibly ill children worldwide, and we could do with your help. If you feel like sponsoring us, you can go to extralife.org/team/VGHub Team 2012. Pick your favourite podcaster from any of the VGHub podcasts and just send them some cash. It won't actually be going to them, but going to the hospitals. We're not fraudulent. We really could do some more voicemails. We had another one today, and it saves us some work. It's always good.
A lot of work.
It's great to hear your input. So call the RPG hotline at 412-267-RPG1. Or you can email us. Our email address is thegamesmanrpg@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Trust you know how to email. If Twitter's more your thing, our Twitter account is at thegamesmanrpg. We've got a couple of new followers there. We've got KevFH67, IJ Styles, Anthony Alex.
Yeah, from the Angry Mailman podcast. That's a funny dude there.
Sounds like something you should be on.
I know, I should be. I know. But I'm not angry. I love it because I love that they can't even run a one-room shithouse. I love it.
Now, if you want to, you can check out our YouTube channel. Now and then we put up some TGM tag-alongs, which kind of give you a 15-minute preview of the start of games, so you can see if perhaps your hard-earned money is worth the game.
Yeah, Guild Wars 2 cuts into that.
Yeah. I mean, we might not be the greatest players, but it gives you an idea. And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/thegamesmanrpg. There's a theme running there. Now, don't forget iTunes reviews. We've got some new ones coming up, so we should put them out.
Yeah, I gotta check them. That's totally my fault. So, for next week, we will have iTunes reviews, I promise. Promise. Alright, well, thank you, Dan. I think that's going to do it for episode 85. So, on behalf of Daniel Knappman, Mr. Hardlydan, I am Lyfeliek. We are the Gamesmen, and until next time, we ask,
what role will you play? That's the kind of time I boot up Guild Wars 2. 5 hours.
God, I didn't have any energy by that point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Wait, you're clicking. Okay, good.
Well, that's about the time I boot up Guild Wars 2. That's about the time I boot up Guild Wars 2.
Still. Okay,
I swear
good.
this is some kind of conspiracy, and you're just saying that, so I'll put another goddamn scarf on my head.
I wish it was. I think the scarf might be making it worse. All right, Dan, well, that's 2 random encounters, and courtesy of Mr. Greg DeLacy, Murphy's Law, it's time for the boss battle. Oh, God, what is wrong with my fucking throat?
Time for the boss.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, we've got a few new followers.
Wait, it's cracking again. God, that goddamn headset. Throw that thing in the garbage.
Oh, it's so comfy and it sounds brilliant.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Actually, I wonder if they're now.
No, it doesn't.
Satisfied with this podcast, please return any portion for a full refund.
So you can run and tell that, homeboy.